The saying, feed a cold and starve a fever, is based on the idea that eating food may help the body generate warmth during a cold, and that avoiding food may help cool it down when it's overheated. But scientific evidence suggests that isn't true, and that what we should be doing instead is feeding both colds and fevers.
So maybe your grandmother was right. A bowl of chicken soup is not just good for the soul, but really something that nourishes you when you have a cold or a flu. There's no scientific evidence that it really helps, but we all know that we enjoy that when we don't feel so well. And if you use ingredients that adds lots of flavor and texture and nourishment, like vegetables, some garlic, which is known for fighting flu, lemon, some ginger, then you're really off to a very good start. And I'm sure you'll feel much better quite soon. The way that I'm going to prepare this soup doesn't require any stock because the chicken is fried in the pot that you're going to prepare it in with no oil in the beginning. Once that is all browned, we're going to do all the vegetables and then take the skin off the chicken. We don't need that. But the flavor will be in the pot with all the other vegetables. So I'm going to start with that.
Typical chicken soup ingredients like carrots, celery, garlic and onions are packed with calcium, magnesium, potassium and vitamins A and D, which all work together to help your immune system function at its peak.
Now that the chicken is nice and golden brown, we're taking that out of the pot and utilizing those flavors in the pot to saute the onions and the leeks and the garlic. Only if it's really necessary do you add a little bit of extra oil, but there's enough in the pot already that you can utilize and fry it until it's nice and golden brown. So I'm adding the onions. Remember that leeks is a wonderful ingredient in a soup. It's not as strong as onions. It's got a slightly sweeter flavor and it's brilliant in a chicken soup. The combination between leeks and chicken has always been a hit. Then fresh garlic. And remember not to use a tub of garlic. The fresh garlic has all those nutritional values in that we want to use and be part of our meal because we're trying to fight this flu and this cold. Make sure that the onions and the leeks are really sauteed well so that they're soft and tender. Then you continue with the rest of the ingredients. Also some vegetables. Remember, we want lots of nutritional value and some crunch in that soup. We're not going to blend it. Carrots and celery are such typical soup ingredients that we're definitely adding those. And I tend to use the leaves of the celery as well. I use table celery. There is something called soup celery, but the flavor of the table celery is beautiful in this soup. All of that is cooking together with the liquid, and we're not using stock. We're using wine and water with the fresh ingredients like bay leaves, some ginger slices, which is very important for that process of fighting the cold and flu. You're going to use some oregano as well for flavoring.
Steaming fluids help relieve nasal congestion and soothe the inflamed membranes that line your nose and throat. It's this inflammation that causes you pain every time you sneeze and swallow.
Then while you're deboning the chicken, remember it's the thighs that was on the bone, so you're going to flake that and take it off the bone. Then while that's happening, put a bit of broccoli and green beans just for a last few minutes into that pot. It adds color and texture, and the whole combination really is a nourishing meal, and I'm sure you're going to feel so much better enjoying that bowl of soup. And maybe it even reminds you of grandma.
Colds and fevers usually run their course, and if you generally have good health, your immune system should eventually get the upper hand. You may not have the biggest appetite when you're sick, but chicken soup contains the right ingredients and fluids to give your body the energy it needs to fight off the germs and get you back on your feet.